Greetings, everyone. You are tuned into the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talks, where we talk about life, love, and business. And today we're just going to talk. We're going to talk about that first week of the new year, where you're feeling old energy threatening to take you back to an old place. We're going to talk about that a little bit. Wa alaikum salam. Brother Lamont 73, Paris 08. The resilient nurse. Praise be to Allah. I like that. The resilient nurse. Welcome. Y'all come on in. We're going to start off to a little happy song by the OJs. My brother gave me this idea for this song, and I'll tell y'all why once we get started. So come on in the room. Welcome. Good morning, sis. Happy rising. Good morning, Brother Kevin. Good morning, Mom. Welcome. Thank you. Top of the morning. Happy rising, grand rising to everyone. We woke up this morning. We're here. I be doing me. Welcome. Come on in. Wa alaikum salam, sis. Come on in. Welcome. So we're going to do a little happy song dancing this morning. One of my favorite old school groups is the OJs. Another one is Switch. But I love me some OJs. And I like Chic. You know, those are my old school jams. She is the blessed one. Welcome. The best thing about this song is you got to see the video because they get it in this video. It's called Happy Song. Just Shazam it if you don't know it. So come on in. Welcome to the room. Welcome to the Sajdah Saturday morning coffee talks, where we talk about life, love, and business. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Alita. Welcome. Brother Jamil. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome. Do a little happy song this morning from the OJs. My brother gave me this idea for this song, and I got to give a shout out to my brother. He's on here today. Because if you don't have somebody in your life that just always got your back, then I suggest you pray for one. Because my brother and I, we have this latest trend, last few years, where we'll go to motivational events, Marshall Silver, Tony Robbins, real estate seminars. And the whole time that we're in the seminars, my brother's looking over at me like, man, you can do this. You got this. I don't care what they talking about. My brother's like, you can do this. You got this. And it's a great confidence builder. And he really actually made me start realizing, like, I can do this. So this OJ song came about because a lot of the motivational events we go to, they have somebody come out and dance just to warm you up. Because the flow of energy is really important when you're getting your emotions and all of that together. So they don't like you to sit there stagnant, especially at the Tony Robbins events. So there's always some group of people that come out and they dance. And so as my brother's always telling me, you can do this, you got this. And so when the dude comes out and he's dancing to whatever music and they're warming you up, my brother's like, see, I could do that part. And so he was I think at the casino this weekend, and heard this song, and he said that'd be a good song to warm up to. So I just thought I'd play it today, even though we're not warming up and dancing. So shout out to Brother Kevin. I actually was thinking about my brother actually yesterday and I didn't post these because I was so busy in another zone when I was there, but I was taking photos as we were walking through and working on finishes at the Elijah Muhammad house. And I was like, wow, I remember the first day we were in there and the house was very near dilapidated, very near, probably wasn't supposed to be people in there, to be honest with you. He just said, well, sis, I don't know what you're going to do with it, but you got it. And because he had gone there and closed for me while I was in Africa. And that was the first thing he said to me. I don't know what you're going to do with this big old thing, but you got it. And I said, bro, you are standing in history. And inshallah, that's what we're going to do with it. We're going to make history with that and create a legacy. You know, so much interesting stuff has happened this week. And since our manifestation party on New Year's Eve, we took the Saturday off that day afterwards. So this is our first Saturday back of the new year. And I started really just going deeper into my prayer and meditation and study. And it's something that I've always done as a routine since I was probably 4 or 5 years old. But this time I just started going a little deeper into it. And then Allah started dealing with me and casting out demons and little things that I needed to work on. So I'm grateful for that. Interestingly enough, one of the things that I started thinking about was, I said, you know, a lot of people, they start the new year off great, very well. They're excited. They go, okay, I'm going to work out. I'm going to eat right. And then you start feeling what I call the haunting of old energy hovering over you and threatening to come down upon you and make you, you know, Brother Jamil said New Year's Eve was super lit. You know what? I agree. I usually, Brother Jamil, if I do an event, I can't tell how good it is because I go into a space where I'm just trying to pour out whatever is in me. And so I don't know. I have to ask you all, like, well, how was it? Was it okay? And sometimes I'm a little embarrassed because I don't really know. But this year, I think because it was just on such another level, I really felt like it was lit too. So praise be to Allah. And now that we've come through that and we got that momentum, like I said, we start to feel the haunting, right, of old thoughts and old energy just kind of floating down and trying to take over us, make us stop working out, make us stop eating right, make us, most importantly, stop thinking right. And it's important that we have reminders. It's important that we understand and go to our faith. See, when you're on a road, this is what it's like. When you're on a road and you turn on your GPS and you're riding on the road and somehow the GPS either freezes or gets scrambled and you get lost, or it can't find the specific address that, for example, that you're looking for. So what you do is you pull back and you go wide. You say, okay, take me to the intersection of such and such and such and such. Take me to the intersection of, you know, whatever, Stony Island and 75th, because I'm lost. Whatever. You go back because it can't find that specific address. You know what street you're on, but you're like, it can't get it. Either the address is not in their database or the address is new. So you dial it back and you go to a broader point of origin or of destination so that you can then use it to get you to that broader point, and then you find your way. Well, it's the same way spiritually. When you find yourself struggling with the specifics, I need to lose 25 pounds by February 15th, and you know, everybody's got the weight loss goals. I don't care. This is what I got to do. Da 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 da. And then you find yourself along the road. You know, today you accidentally ate a muffin. Tomorrow you accidentally eat a whole bean pie. The week after that, you accidentally do something or you don't work out. Well, the best thing to do to get your mind back on track is dial it back. Pull back some. Pull back to the bigger, more general idea. What is the bigger, more general idea? We know the specific goal is to lose 25 pounds, for example, by a specific date. But as your GPS is leading you there, you're getting lost. It's scrambling. It can't find the address. So pull back and say, you know what? I want to spend 2022 as healthy as I possibly can. I want to spend 2022 in a space where health and my lack of wellness is no longer an issue in my life. I want to ride the wave of wellness. So you dial it back and then calibrate yourself there and then pull back in. So you dial back and then you get yourself there. Think of it like a compass. You're driving along. The address you're looking for is either not in the satellite database, or they can't find it, or the GPS keeps freezing, or it keeps telling you to turn in a direction where you can't get there from there. You dial it back and you say, take me to the corner of Route 83 and 85th Street or whatever, Harlem and 125th. You say, take me there, because you know once you get to Harlem and 125th Street, you get to 125th and Lenox and Harlem, you say, I can get there from there because it's just a block away. Or you say, once I get to 75th and Stony, I can get to the mosque. It's right there. Once I get to 47th and Woodlawn, I can get to Sajdah House. It's right there. So you dial it back. And you have to do the same thing with yourself mentally and spiritually and emotionally. If you say, you know what, I thought that I was going to have $10,000 by the end of the month, or that's my goal. By January 31st, I want to have $10,000. But this week you got this bill in. This week you got something else that happened. You decided to go shopping. You messed up. Or things happen that cause you to get off track. Dial it back. Instead of focusing on that specific, see, because that specific might be messing you up. And I'll explain why. Dial it back. You know what? By the end of the month, I want to be in a better financial space than I am today. By the end of the month, I want to be in a better place than I was a year ago or 5 years ago. By the end of the month, something general, right? And the general, oftentimes, you can calibrate to that. You can feel good about the general. I can feel good thinking that by the end of February, I can be in a healthy state. I can feel good by saying by the end of January 31st, I'll have $10,000. Then you start to focus on the specifics. So dial it back, recalibrate yourself, then start focusing on the specific, because sometimes the specifics mess us up. And how do the specifics mess us up? They mess us up because we tend to keep score too soon. This is what happens when we get competitive with one another. We're constantly looking over at the other person keeping score. Man, they got this and this, and I ain't got that. They got blah, 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 and I ain't got that. Well, see, now you're messing up because you're not focusing on your specific goal, your specific creativity. You're focusing on two things. You're focusing on what I got and what you don't have. And remember, whatever you focus on expands. So if you're focusing on what I got and what you don't have, guess what's going to expand? What I got and what you don't have is what's going to expand. So you got to be careful with that. Don't stop and take score. Stop taking score. Stop looking at yourself and saying, let me take score. Let me see what I'm doing. We stop and take score too long. It's like we pray for something. We say, oh, I'm going to pray that I lose 10 pounds. And then right after the prayer, you get up and go look in the mirror. Really, fool? It ain't happen that quick. But the change in your mindset and the change in your direction can happen that quickly. So don't take score too quickly, and be careful about taking score too often. Be very careful with that. You know, I think I told you all earlier this week that as I was going deeper into my meditation, Allah started dealing with me with my insecurities. And when I start feeling that, I know that my study is causing demons to be cast out because they start to come to the surface. I start to feel really aware of them. and really focused on them. And then I'm able to utilize some of the wisdom that I'm blessed to have access to, like the Holy Quran, Supreme Wisdom, different motivational speeches I listen to, the teachings, the sayings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, whatever it is, I'm able to go to a reference point and cast out, not cast out, well, I don't cast out the demon, but the knowledge cast out the demons. Because it's easy when you, let me say it this way. We all were challenged in the Sajdah Circle of Winners last summer to get out up over our skis. Do something that we really don't have any intellectual capacity on how we're going to get there and how it's going to happen. We've been challenged. Get out over your skis. Go further. Go into that magical space. I think I did a lecture on this on a talk on this on the Mind of an Entrepreneur show. You can click the link in the bio and see, but I think it's called Going Beyond Your Intellectual Capacity. And getting out into that space where if the magic don't happen, you ain't gonna make it. Where you start to command and pull from the universe what you want, and you say, you know what? If there's no magic that happens, I am done. Get out over your skis, because that's where the magic happens. That's where we push beyond our safety net and our safety zone. Safety zone is designed to keep us at a certain level. So we've been talking about that. And when that happens, you start to get challenged by things. And see, this is how the mind goes. You get challenged. Instead of pulling back and going general, you start keeping score too much. When you keep score too much, you focus on what's there and what you don't have. And then that expands. And then you find yourself in this kind of diluted energy space where you can get your energy way up high and you say, I want to do this and this is really great. This is what I'm going to do. But then you bring that energy down and you go, I'm taking score too fast. Boom. Because when I take score, I think about what I don't have. So I focus on that. That brought me down a notch. Then I got too specific too soon. Boom. Brought me down another notch. Then somebody outside said something to me, or something stank or something funky. Boom. Brought me down another notch. So you got to figure out how to keep yourself up on that higher level. And you all know with the renovation and restoration of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, there's a lot of attention on that project. You know, I thought that when we were building the micro hospital in Maryland that there was a lot of attention on that project. This renovation was not even in my mind space, but I thought there was a lot of attention on that project at that time. And I thought then that there was a lot of weight on me, because I thought, okay, I got to get this right. Every detail I was focused on, because I knew I had to get it right, because there were regulatory requirements. And so every step of the way, I'm focusing, I'm trying to get it right. I'm making sure I'm in compliance, and at the same time trying to uphold our business processes and goals and get what my business partner needed in the surgery room done and set up the right way. And there was a lot of pressure, or at least I thought. At least I thought, right? And so just going through that every step of the way, and then dealing with other people, their conversations, their talk. And I didn't tell anybody for a long time what I was doing and what I was working on and what the mindset was, but as people started to know me and they knew I was constantly studying. I don't have it in here, but the surgery regulatory books are probably that thick, and there's 2 of them. And so I had to study the state laws. I had to study the federal guidelines. I had to figure out what the county wanted. I had to understand real estate goals. And then I had to take into consideration my stakeholders. So it was a lot. And I thought that it was a lot at the time. And I thought there was a lot of pressure on me, and I thought there was a lot of attention on me. Because, you know, you go to the site, you got the permits, and because you're out up over your skis, or when you're doing something that's never been done before, don't nobody else want to put their name on the permit. Folks are like, oh, Miss Wendy, can you sign here, please? I'm like, I'm out over my skis. Even as it related, I think, even to my business partner. I could see sometimes him looking at me like, can she do this? And so I just went into a zone, and I understood, number one, that there's no balance in success. If you want to be great, there's no balance there. This BS that we learn, work-life balance, and if you're looking for greatness, there is no balance there. Get that out of your head. Stop thinking that, okay, I got to have some balance. You're going to have to be imbalanced for a certain period of time, and then you can break off and go away. Take some time to detach at a certain point, but there's no balance there. If you were training, if you're Michael Jordan or Steph Curry or LeBron James, and you're training, there's no, let me just train for a couple hours and then go chill. You got to be in that gym. You got to be in there working it out. You think Beyonce's not training? You got to train. You got to work. There's no balance for greatness. Forget that. Get over that. There ain't no, I'm just going to go to bed at 9 o'clock at night. Not when you grinding and trying to do something that you've never done before. You got to get your butt up early. You might have to sneak a few winks of sleep in here and there. You got to pray in an extraordinary manner. You got to be pulling on a lot every step of the way. You know, in that particular case, I was building the center and working and dealing with what everybody was saying about me. Dealing with, you know, and this is where you got to have your ego in check, because when you're out up over your skis, nobody's saying, wow, look at what a great person she is. People talking about you. They dogging you out. I don't know what she thinks she's doing. I don't know. Because they're preparing themselves for your failure. So by preparing themselves for your failure, what do? They talk about you. They got to bring you down. Man, she's a trip. You know, I had people in my family go, oh, yeah, I think she's the secretary over there for that guy in Maryland. But I'm building a whole center. I'm a whole president of a company, a whole business partner. But people's ego will get in the way and start to crunch you down, because they're keeping score. They're trying to keep you on their level, but you can't focus on that. You have to be laser focused and extraordinarily focused on whatever it is that you want. And nothing else can matter when you're working on that great, extraordinary thing. You have to make sure that you are focused. At the end of the day, folks will say all kind of stuff. You know, success has a lot of friends. So at the end, people are like, oh, yeah, look at what we did. And oh, and we. All the language becomes real French. We got this done, and we did this, and we did this. But when you was in it, and you was in the trenches, not getting no sleep, the only thing I think I did consistently during that time was workout. And I needed that workout just so that that was my way of kind of that hour and a half or so each day of detaching. And so that's when I was going to like CrossFit and boot camps and just detaching for that hour every single day, just to take my mind away. But there's no balance. There's no balance there. Get that out of your head. I hear little young students talking about, I need work-life balance. What? That's for people who work a job, and you don't want to give your 100% time to the people on the job. You can break away, and you got to have people in your life that understand that. People got to understand that this is your busy season. This is your time. This is what you're working on, and support you in that. Give you ideas on how you can do better. Support you on taking yourself to the next level. That's what you need when you're going through that. And if you don't have that, then don't even mess with those people that want to put you on that common, ordinary level. So I'm saying all that to say that Allah prepares you, because I thought that was challenging. I thought it was a lot of weight. I thought it was a lot of attention, but little did I know that, a few short years later, I would be picking up, I would be given an assignment that was bigger, greater, more challenging, not from a technical or construction standpoint, although it's very detailed and we're doing very exquisite, detailed work with the home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. But on the spiritual side and on the mental side and the emotional side, it was challenging. It is challenging. And it's challenging because of assumptions. And this is why I say to you that when you have a project, you create a product, you may feel like the product is so good and so great, and so you assume that everybody's going to buy it. You assume that everybody's going to want it, everybody's going to be happy for you. You spent all this time, you've created this, you think that everybody's going to feel like you feel. And the biggest challenge comes when you got to let go of that assumption. You got to be prepared to go it alone if needed, to understand that people be with you, but some may not be all the way with you. You might be, I'm lucky on this project that I got a few people that's all the way with me, but you may not have that. You make those assumptions. You go into it. You say, you know what? I created this beautiful product and look at this and everybody's going to want it. I mean, who wouldn't want a cup like this? I created it. I painted it. Shout out to my mom who gave me this cup this holiday season. But you say, who wouldn't want that? Who wouldn't want a coin? I felt like this is an amazing idea. It came through such great inspiration. The process that I went through to come up with this coin is amazing, or what I'm going through to develop this home is incredible. Why wouldn't anybody see it? And after all, it's the home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. This is the messenger of Allah. This is the Lamb of God. Everybody's going to be happy about this. Nobody's going to be tripping on this. Man, assumptions, right? And I think that's probably the hardest part. The finances, have gotten challenging. The details have gotten challenging. A lot of things have gotten challenging, but nothing is as challenging as my assumptions about how I thought people would see it being wrong. So then I have to go into and say, well, is that ego? Is that ego? Is that faith? Like, what is that? And so I start dealing with that because I want to make sure that I'm not off base. Because in my mind, from the beginning, I was always prepared to go it alone. And then the minister told me not to worry about where my help would come from. And that really relieved that demon of insecurity from me, because I didn't have to worry about it, because he said don't worry about it. So I'm like, okay, I'm not going to worry about it. But that's been the biggest challenge. That's been one of the biggest challenges, that I had to be resolute in my goal and what I was doing. and what I believed in, even if it made things more difficult, because it's something everybody's not happy about. People that you think would be happy are not happy. So that's what happens when you get out up over your skis. And that's what I'm saying to you, that there's no balance in greatness. So I can't have balance when it comes to that. I got to be full on focused on my goals. I've had people come and say, one of the challenges that we're having now is working on getting artifacts. Of course, we have our technology piece where we'll have different screens and things like that that'll tell the story. But we're working on artifacts and different items that people may have that we can just place strategically throughout the home. And I thought to myself, that'll be easy. Nobody wants to die and have this great valuable stuff just thrown away by children and grandchildren that don't know anything about it. We start talking to people. People say, well, you know what? I'll give you my stuff if you stop calling him the messenger of Allah. Like, that's a non-negotiable. So keep your things. Then somebody else said, I'll give you my stuff if you stop talking about the minister. That's a non-negotiable. Well, then somebody else said, I'll give you my stuff if you don't put nothing about Farrakhan in there. That's a non-negotiable. Then somebody said, I'll give you my stuff if you don't put a picture of Master Farad Muhammad up in there. That's a non-negotiable. So I feel like Colonel Sanders, right? Where you get like 1,000 no's, and then you have to deal with and have to be resolute. There's no balance in that. There's no balance in saying, well, I maybe, or no. There's no maybe. There's a thank you for your time and assalamu alaikum. We're not mad about it, but those are non-negotiables. Just non-negotiables. So don't even ask that. If that is a requirement of you giving your things, then keep your things. It's okay. But I know that's hypocritical because you wouldn't still have the stuff if he wasn't valuable. But it's okay. It's non-negotiable. So the point I'm making is that as you're moving along on these types of projects, there'll be non-negotiables. People will say, oh, you know what? We can give you a such and such $1,000 grant if you do it the way we want you to do it. Thank you. That's a non-negotiable. I serve a God, and I can pull on this universe, and the money we need will be there. It will happen, but I'm not going to compromise and take your money. Thank you very much. Give it to somebody who your mindset might be part of their business plan, but it's not part of mine. And I do it nicely, and I do it sweetly. I might get off the phone and say, who the hell are you even thinking? But there's non-negotiables. So there's all these things that come up. And I go to prayer and meditation and the Holy Quran, and it gives me all kinds of responses to these people, places, and things that want me to compromise for a few material things. And that's what I mean by being dedicated. No compromise. There's no balance. There's no negotiating when you're trying to do something based in truth and in greatness. So you have to be laser focused. That's the point that I'm making. Interesting enough, I was thinking one of those conversations happened actually yesterday evening. And when I finished that conversation, well, actually, no, there were two yesterday. One was somebody offering, there's a grant money or something like that. And then they said, and we'll send you, how we require that. And then funny thing is that this is such a new industry, but they try to act like they already had requirements. And we have requirements for what these house museums must present. And I'm like, okay, that would be great. It would be great to have some relief, But it's all right. I got Allah. I'll get some relief from him. Then that two of those conversations happened yesterday, and what kept coming to my mind, because I really feel like it's wrong I believe it's wrong to try to dangle a carrot and blackmail somebody, if you will, into doing things the way you want them to do it. I'm such a big proponent of pushing people towards what they believe Allah wants them to do. I literally consider it blasphemous to take you off of your course. If you've ever had a coaching session with me, if you've ever worked with me, if you're a friend of mine, if you're on my regular talks, you know I am all about helping you figure out what you showed up on the planet to do and to move into being your full self. I'm a rider like that. That's who I am. There's so many people that, whether they come in and out of my life, whether it's somebody that I know in whatever shape, form, or fashion, they will tell you that I'm all about pushing you to your next level and your greatest self. So to me, that's almost like a religion. So many people that I've known and that I've met, that just from them being with me and around me, they've made millions of dollars or become bigger and better and greater, because that's the focus. I'm not trying to convince you to do things the way I want you to do things. So to me, that's blasphemous. So I ended up taking that thought into prayer, and I said, it's just wrong. And I kept saying that it's just wrong. I said, Allah, it's just wrong. It's just wrong. I kept saying that. And what came to me was that the wrongdoers are friends of each other, but Allah is the friend of the dutiful. That's from the Holy Quran. The wrongdoers are friends of each other, but Allah is a friend of the dutiful. And so that's what I started thinking about. I said, well, then Allah is my friend. I don't have to worry about that. I don't have to make no compromises. I don't have to take this down and don't say this and change my language. And I said to one group, I said, you asking me to do that is like hiring me in a position and saying, but when you come, please don't be black. Can't do it. Can't do it. So anyway, I didn't mean to make things so heavy like that, but I wanted to share something from my life so that you understand that the kind of things that you will have to deal with when you get up over your skis. And at the end of the day, the attacks will be against you and what you believe, because you are the factor, not the thing, the project, or whatever. So when we were building the surgery center, when I was deep into that and coming into really starting to see the finish line, then the attacks are against me, not against the project. And so that's where you get tried, where people start to say things about you and what you believe in and why are you here. I used to get all the time like, why are you here working with these people? You can be working for, I was in DC at the time. You could be working for some major organization and building hospitals and buildings and stuff like that for him. And I said, you know what? No matter what anybody says, no matter what happens, what you can't take away from me is that I did this, that I've done that, and I've accomplished that, and I can do it again. So if you've done it, then you do it. You do it. It's like, I think Jay-Z said that to somebody. He's like, if you made Hove, then make another Hove. And I say the same thing. If you did it, then do it again. Because by the grace of Allah, I will do it again and again and again. Because it came from here, inspired by Almighty God, Allah. So that's just how you have to think. That's what your mindset have to. People will try to diminish it. They will diminish you. That happens in corporate all the time. I can't tell you how many times I've been in a corporate setting where I've solved a problem, where I've come up with a solution, built a business, finished a project, did something that nobody else could do. And then I had to sit in the audience and watch these white boys take the credit, make their presentations and say, and we've done this and this, and you wasn't even there. I'm sitting there going, Negro, you wasn't even in the room. But I learned from that, and I said, but you know what? What I've accomplished, they can never take away from me. And they can't do it because they never did it the first time. They can't do it again because they didn't do it the first time. They got to go study and do what I had to do in order to get it done. So while I'm sitting here and I finish this pipeline project, I know at the end of the day that if I have to do another pipeline project, I got a base of knowledge to pull on, and I believe I can do it again, inshallah. If I have to build another hospital, I got baseline knowledge that came through me that I can pull on, and I can do it again, inshallah, and again, and again. If saving sacred anointed homes is what I've done, then inshallah, I can do it again and again. So when people try to take credit, that's another thing that may happen to you. You get out up over your skis of something that's never been done before. There's no metric or measurement for the accomplishment. You'll have all kind of people attaching to it. People who were around. It's like you writing a book, but somebody gave you the money to write the book, and then they say, well, they wrote the book. No, you didn't write the book. And if you feel like you wrote the book, write another one, because I wrote this one. So you gotta get a little fight in you. I credit that to my mother, because my father is more giving me decorum, but my mother's a fighter, and she gave me the strength to be able to fight. So I always tease people. I say, my gangster girl, she sits in the back. She's somewhere back here behind this chair. She don't come out until you wake her up. And when you wake her up, she say, you know what, Sajdah, I got this. You don't want to see her. But the point I'm making is that you will have that happen to you. And you have to have the strength to push through and to keep going. People, you have great ideas. You do great things. People try to steal your success. They will try to steal your ideas. You have to have enough confidence in yourself. You have to have enough imbalance in your own self to know that I'm going to be supernaturally crazy committed to myself and what I am doing. I'm going to be nuts and out of my mind with commitment and creativity. Balance, work-life balance? No, that ain't happening. Not hardly. So that's what I want you to think about and understand as you're moving forward with these big projects. And when your goals are being haunted by common thoughts and haunted by old thoughts and old insecurities, just pull back a little bit and go general. Just pull back and go general. Because you're going to be haunted by insecurities. You're going to be haunted by old thoughts. You're going to be haunted by common people. You're going to be haunted by people who just want you to be safe. You're going to be haunted by people who don't want you to get too far outside of their definition of you. You're going to be haunted by that. You got to pull back and go general and go to that and fight for that confidence within yourself. You may have to fight yourself to remain confident. And so when I would be sitting there in the audience after these accomplishments that I pretty much would put on my back and make happen by the grace of Allah, when I was in corporate and have to watch other people take the credit for it, I had to learn to find a place in my mind and heart and in my understanding as to why Allah was allowing this to happen. You know, when we built the hospital, I didn't even step up and cut the ribbon because I was so deep off into learning to allow Allah to communicate and flow through me, that cutting the ribbon didn't even matter. I stood behind. And they cut the ribbon. I think I was at the groundbreaking. We did the shovels. But when we cut the ribbon for the grand opening, I was standing behind the group, because it wasn't about that for me. I was literally, and every time I would see the project, I would literally think about, that's what came through me from Allah. And that's where I was, thanking Him for speaking and expressing Himself and allowing me to help Him make Himself known. And little did I know that was practice for an even greater project. And I don't know what project I'm practicing for now, because this one feels pretty great to me. And I've got a lot of other projects and things that I'm doing that's bubbling, but this one feels pretty great to me. And so yesterday when I was there, I just was looking around and I thought, thank you. Thank you, Allah, for allowing me to help in little infinite way make you known. And just come through me. So then I realized years ago that in those cases, your job is to just figure out how to allow and to obey. And I want to share that with you all, because oftentimes we get on these projects, or we work on something, or we're trying to accomplish a particular goal, and we give up. We give up because as we're taking score, something ain't right. We're not getting the score that we want. As we're checking in with ourselves, we don't feel good. As we're looking around us, we don't really have the support that we thought we would have. As we're introducing our project to the world, not that many people is feeling it the way we thought it was. So you got to find a way to go inside yourself and realize that this is about you and Allah and what He wants you to do. Nothing else matters. He said, do this. He said, do it this way. You got to, one, be grateful that you can hear Him, and two, be grateful that you can allow Him to make it happen through you. So nothing else matters. What these people think, what these people say, what these people want, it don't matter. And that's an example for all of us. There ain't no work-life balance. There ain't no balance in greatness. If greatness is allowing Allah to flow through you, ain't no balance and compromise in that. He said, go to the corner and turn right. We talked about using the GPS analogy. The lady on the GPS says, go 500 feet and make a right. Do you go 300 feet and make a right? Do you go 100 feet and make a left? Do you go 700 feet and then make another right? No. The GPS said go 500 feet and make a right. And that's what you do. That's what you do. So if Allah says go 500 feet, make a right, you go 500 feet and you make a right. It don't matter if somebody else is going 200 feet and making a left, or somebody else made a U-turn, or somebody else went straight. That's not relevant to you. There's no balance there. Well, let me have a little balance because I'm on the road. There's 10 other cars here. One of the cars made a left. The other car went straight. Yeah, I'm just going to go left and straight a little bit. Even though the GPS says go 500 feet and make a right. Say something in the chat if that makes sense to you. If Allah is giving you an instruction, go that way and do what you're supposed to. If Allah said make 500 feet and go to the right, go 500 feet and make a right. There's no balance in greatness. Because the greatness is in following His instructions. And figuring out how to keep yourself in a space, calibrate yourself in a space so that you can hear Him. Using tools that will help guide you. Tools that will get you there. Tools. Brother DeMille said, follow God's ways. That's right. So he might be having you do something that's never been done before. There might not be no rule book for it. There wasn't no black folks I could call and say, hey, when y'all was building y'all's hospital, did y'all run across this or that? No. There are black people that built clinics, black people that built smaller facilities, but there was nobody that I could say, hey, did you experience this or that? When I tell you that every single day there was an attack against us, we were talking about that yesterday. Every single day. Every single day. And literally, we had one particular group that was constantly attacking us. And when I say attacks, I mean trying to stop us from getting certain regulatory approvals and credentialing, flattening tires at the hospital. And I mean, we really literally were in danger just getting this hospital up and running. Literally facing danger, looking danger in the face every single day. Somebody cut the power off as soon as we got power to the building. We're like, okay, no problem. We're going to get this big generator. Somebody turned some of the valves and to try to get water to come through the facility. We caught it because the water filled up one room, and then we were able to stop. People called and threatened us on the phone. People threatened and tried to sabotage us. Just yesterday, my business partner called me and said, you know, these people sent a big box of chocolates over here for the holidays. We already knew we didn't eat. No, we would starve. We wouldn't eat in the cafeteria at the hospital. We wouldn't eat nothing that somebody brought to us. We had to be creative and where we got food from. If we got food in certain areas, we had to be mindful of who we got the food from, who went and got the food, who was cooking the food. We changed it up. We had to be strict militarily focused in order to get that hospital done. And then I had to go up on the site by myself. I had a great group of construction workers who would look out for me. Soon as we shut the site down at night, somebody come on and try to sabotage. We went through this for 4 years, ducking and moving, leaving out at certain times, switching cars, just to get that done. So I'm saying to you, is there balance there? No, ain't no balance there. That's being laser focused and letting Allah say, you know what? Don't go down the street this week. I know you hungry. But don't eat that food. We literally would have people just dropping off food, dropping off stuff, doing all kind of stuff. And we say, no, not eating your food, not letting you come over. You're not going to sabotage us. You probably never seen a facility that had to have a security guard at the front desk that was licensed to carry. That's how mad folks was that black people was building a micro hospital. And that was my preparation for this project today. Oh yeah, healthcare is very gangster. But they ain't got nothing on these folks around this current project. Let me tell you. But Allah is really beautiful because He didn't let this be my first project. He let that be it. And I'm grateful because my business partner, Dr. Dormu, he was with me and I didn't have to be alone with it. And he and I we had this thing where we would laugh every single day. And he would be in surgery. So while I'm over here going to the site, building, talking on the phone, seeing the attacks coming, he's saving lives. So he would when he would finish up his cases, he'd come in my office and he'd say, I can tell by your face what happened today. And it would be every single day. And we would just, we developed this thing where we would just laugh. We laughed our way through it. And so now I understand it as a way of preparing us and guiding us. And it's a beautiful way to be able to feel God. Now I'm addicted to feeling him all the time, because he's giving me messages like, nope, do this. May look like you're going that way, but go this way. It's going to be quiet for a minute. This and that ain't going to be happening. But then I'm going to bring you back up, and just allowing. It's not easy, because you got to, deal with your own emotions and your own mind. But it's one of those things that you will be grateful when you get through it. So keep going. Don't stop. Don't let the other things around you haunt you into slowing you down and stopping you. Push yourself and get out of over your skis. Anyway, y'all, I'm going to let y'all go. Support the renovation and restoration of the former home of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Somebody put SajdahHouse.com in the chat in this last couple of minutes. Oh, I'm not going to stop. That ain't happening. Put that in the chat for me, please. Please, somebody. SajdahHouse.com. Just use the discount code HEM4847. If you want to be a sponsor, you can shoot me an email, sajdahhouse@gmail.com, for sponsorships. I can let you know what sponsorships are still available, and how you can get your name on the project. Our sponsors, they receive these beautiful miniature statues of Mary Magdalene. And then we also would put their names on or in the area that they sponsored. So if you sponsored the garden, there'll be a plaque there with your name. If you're sponsoring part of the technology, then when the credits roll, your name will be there. If you sponsor a particular room, then your name will be on that room. As people go into the door, they'll see your room. If you sponsor the roof, or electrical, plumbing, or whatever, then your name will be a part of that, and people will see it, and we'll let people know, look, thanks to so-and-so, you're being cooled by this nice, fresh, moist air. And thanks to so-and-so, the room is illuminated, the home is illuminated. But I'm being silly, but yeah, no, we make sure. And if you have items that you want to put on display that are from your family, that are relevant to the home, to the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, then we will do that as well. So you can send an email to sajdahhouse@gmail.com for that, and then make sure you get your coin. If you already got one, get another one. Spread the word. Go to my page, see the posts about the coin, repost them, let's just keep going. I appreciate your support. If you can't give a dime, a dollar, or anything, if you say I can't afford a coin, I can just give a couple dollars, you can Cash App us at Mo Today. That's $ Mo Today, $ MOETODAY. And if nothing else, and in addition to everything else, pray for us. Say a prayer, keep me in your prayers, and let's just keep going, because we're going to greatness. All right, family. Peace and blessings to everyone. Thank you again to my brother for this song. And we're going to go out for a few minutes again to this song we came into. We got about a minute, and we're going to go do that. And guess what? I got to go do my workout. I'm doing this thing called 30 for 30 that I made up. So I'm doing 30 for 30 today. So it's going to be pretty serious. And then do some stretching and yoga. So about a good 3-hour little thing here just to calibrate my energy in my body. But anyway, peace and blessing, family. Sing a happy song. Don't let nobody hold you back. Don't let nobody lie to you and tell you, well, you got to have balance. You got to compromise. No. Make what you want a must. Make it a must. And make it a good day. You've been tuned into the Sajdah Saturday Morning Coffee Talks, where we talk about life, love, and business. Click the link in the bio if you want to binge on past episodes. Peace and blessings.